Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 49 of the GVGCast, and happy Friday. I'm your host for today's episode, Ash Paulson, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friends and GVG co-founders, Derek Bittner and Steve Bowling, as well as our amazing art director, Daniel Alba. Guys, how's it going?
Woo! Pretty good. Pretty good.
I hear. Also, happy St. Patrick's Day. It is St. Patty's Day. And three of us are repping. I know, Steve, for you, it was an accident, right? You had forgotten.
I was
have
just
any green.
Repping my pals at Nintendo Life. I forgot it was Wear Green Day.
So I almost forgot. Daniel, you are the one of us who remembered from the very beginning. You came prepared. You got your green headband, your green shirt. I love it, man.
Yeah, just don't tell anyone that I actually changed 5 minutes before I got on the camera because I wasn't. I was like, wait.
I did the same thing. Like, oh, there you go, Derek. Cool. I love that. Wispy Woods on your head there. That's great.
What the?
Oh, and a green shirt. Nice.
Oh
Wow,
yeah. Amy got this. Amy just tossed me her shirt.
Whoa, hey now.
Oh, that's cool. I love that shirt.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
good. Where'd you get this from? The Yeti.
Oh, I love that shirt.
I love that.
Change right now, right? Change
Yeah,
right
I do.
now.
Yeah.
Come on, Derek.
Derek. Change right now, man.
Yeah, she still has a shirt on.
I forgot that
We're trying to get your shirt
Daniel.
off, Derek.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like you, Daniel, I forgot until 5 minutes before the show. I was like, oh, wait, what do I have? And I don't have any green shirts. So I went with my green 1-Up beanie, which I figure is good enough. And I feel like I need a 1-Up this week, you guys. So I am on the second of 2 all-nighters in a row for work, 2 weeks in a row. So I want to give a special shout out to one of my best friends, Coffee, for getting me through because it has been a week. And I know, Derek, you mentioned last week that I wasn't on the show that week because I was so exhausted. Plus, I had to take my wife to urgent care all of a sudden, like 30 minutes before the show. Don't worry, she's fine. Thankfully, it was really scary there for a minute. She's fine. But it's the same this week. I have also been working way too much this week, but I'm not going to be here next week. So I figured I got to be here for today because I'll be at PAX next week, and it's our 50th episode. I'm missing episode 50. That stings.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's just a number.
Yeah, it's just a number. Well,
yeah.
You know who I can say will not be missing our 50th episode is our awesome sponsor, The Game Orb. The Game Orb is a YouTube channel that brings commentary and gameplay footage from the Nintendo Switch and Xbox Series X gaming systems. While games like Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu can be seen on the channel along with others, the Game Orb will also now be adding Splatoon 3, Super Mario Sunshine, and Fall Guys to the gaming collection. So be sure to subscribe to the Game Orb at the link in the description. And of course, I've also posted a link in our YouTube chat. So as I always say every week, please go show them all your love because they have been supporting us from the very beginning. And I will have the great honor of hanging out with the Game Orb and plenty of our other patrons at PAX East next week. I'm going to host a community meetup. Super looking forward to that. The last one we hosted at PAX West last year was super successful. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing all of you in our community who will be there with me at PAX East. So keep an eye out on our Twitter and in our Discord server for details on when and where that is going to be. So, guys, what have you been playing? Have you had any time to play anything? I know I haven't very much this week.
Yeah, you obviously haven't. So I have been watching Kai quite a bit because, we've been having some early mornings. We've been having some late nights, and I'll just turn on Theater Rhythm and play a bunch of that.
Oh, I love it.
And I've played through every song, including all the new DLC ones. I have recently completed every single quest, which I think I'm going to make a short video just showing.
Wow.
Like,
I am so jealous. I haven't even finished all the series yet.
Oh my God.
Let alone quests.
Yeah, I finished all the quests and just have to. I think I'm going to make a little video just showing what my strategies were to complete those quests because some of them are rough. I had to really dig hard. I had to dig deep into the internet to find out how to find it. So I'm like, okay, this is not exactly the easiest thing to find. So maybe I should just pass this one.
Yeah, it definitely is not as simple as like leveling up your favorite characters to 99 and then just brute forcing it. You really have to dig into each character's ability set and how they synchronize with each other. It's crazy.
The last one I did, which fittingly enough was Feral Chaos.
That's one of the hardest ones. Yeah.
I maxed out the best stats of both 2 of my characters, and it still wasn't enough to take them down.
Yep.
And like I didn't fully level. I just fed them a bunch of items. I used a Pokemon method of just shoving pills in their mouth. And
that's, that always works.
Yeah,
When in
exactly.
doubt,
usually does a job.
Yeah.
And it still wasn't enough to take him down. So I looked it up, and there's some crazy strategies out there in order to make that work. And you wouldn't expect it, but it's I mean, I'm still addicted. I'm still playing. I still got to get all the collector cards. I still want to kind of want to go for all the feats, which I saw one of them is getting over 9.8 million points on the super hard difficulty. I'm like, oh god, how am I going to do that?
Dude, I've already done that. Just stick with me. I've already got that one done.
Yeah, I might have completed all the quests, but that doesn't require skill. That just requires party makeup.
No, I did that on a comparatively easy, easy level 8 ultimate score. I can't remember which one it was, but I can look it up for you, Derek, and tell you which one I did it on, because it was not that hard. And I know you could do it with enough practice for sure.
Yeah, I need to find all that.
But I could lie and said I did it on like a level 10 ultimate, but it's not true.
But there's also one. What's the next level up? Supreme.
And I've you should try Megalovania on Supreme, because I got about halfway through before I was just like, what am I even looking at? This rhythm chart vomit here on the screen in front of me. It's a fun song, but I have not. I passed a couple of Supreme 11s, but I haven't been able to crack 12 and up yet.
I haven't even attempted yet. I'm just doing everything else because I still haven't gotten all crits. I'm trying on the Chocobo song, and I keep getting just one crit, so I can't get the all crit feat, and it's driving me insane.
Yeah.
Otherwise, though, Kai has been really in the mood for Mario Kart. He's been making me play through a lot of Mario Kart lately.
Nice.
He saw me play through those new tracks, and he's like, "No, I want more. Show me these other tracks."
I had a little less hype going into Wave 4, given the announcement, like what we found out the tracks were. But then as I actually play them, I'm like, wow, this is one of my favorite waves yet. Like, it's actually really, really strong, despite what I thought going into it. So I've really been enjoying this latest wave. And I got to play quite a few of those tracks with one of our patrons, Adam O'Sullivan, for a Fight of Founder session last night, which was a lot of fun, by the way, if you're curious what that means. Patreon.com/GVGaming. But I have, in my very, very spare time this week, been chipping away at Metroid Prime Remastered. I finally found a physical copy in my local Best Buy, and so I went for it. And you guys already know this, but I have to say it because I'm playing it now. It is the absolute picture, the picture-perfect example of what a great remaster is and should be. Like, wow, what an amazing job they did with this remaster. And even though I've played through Metroid Prime probably, 3-4 times in my life, I'm still having so much fun revisiting it in this remastered form. And it's just a game that never gets old to me. What an absolute masterpiece. Obviously, we already knew that, but still, it bears repeating. God, what a game.
What about you, Daniel? What have you been playing?
Oh, man. So since the time I last been on GVGcast, I was able to get a Xbox Series S. And
nice. Yeah.
I was able to thankfully get some of the games that I was playing on PC, and I continued them on the Series S on console properly, so I could actually get through them. Played games on Game Pass. Thankfully, I have Game Pass, because that is the whole reason why I wanted the Series S in the first place. I was finally able to play games like Tetris Effect. I still want to play Hi-Fi Rush. I was playing
such a good game.
I was playing through Banjo-Kazooie because I just wanted to see the difference in controls and what it was like. And I finally beat Omori as well.
I need to get back to that.
And then I beat it just the other day, and I am a mess still. So, if you haven't played
I've not
played.
I need to
not
get
tried
back to
that. I still need to try Hi-Fi Rush, but I did take a little bit of time to try the FF7 Power Wash Simulator stuff.
Oh, I still need to do that. I really want to do that this weekend. Maybe
I'm not very. Yeah. I'm up to the Scorpion boss, which I'm like, oh my god, there's so many nooks and crannies on this damn thing. I've barely touched it though.
That's such a random thing. Isn't Cloud's Hardy Daytona also one of the things you can watch?
I think so.
That's so great. I got to try that. I haven't done that or the Lara Croft Mansion Tomb Raider DLC for that game yet either, but I want to. I maybe I can hopefully get to that this weekend. I would really like to. There's just, as I always say, so much to play, so little time. But
have you tried the Resident Evil demo? Please tell me you have.
I that's how little time I've had. I haven't yet. That's another thing I got to do this weekend. So Resident Evil 4 Chainsaw demo and Power Wash Simulator. want to keep chipping away at Metroid Prime. And then my wife is the worst influence. I love her to death, but I was telling her that I played the Octopath Traveler 2 demo, loved it, knew and feared it was going to get its hooks in me, even though I don't have time for it, but I played it anyway, and yes, it did. And so I told her, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll get this after I finish Metroid Prime. She's like, well, clearly you loved it. You love the first game. You love the presentation. I like watching it. It's cool. Just get it now. And I'm like, but I don't have time. And she's like, enabler. That's okay. Just get it now. Anyway, you'll finish it eventually. And so she won her, she convinced me. So I picked up Octopath Traveler 2 on PS5, and I'll hopefully finish it by summer. But that is going to be a very slow burn. But I did pick that up as well, just to play when she's around, because she really enjoys, watching that game and enjoys 16-bit style JRPGs anyway. So I've been having fun with that, even though it's going to be a very slow burn. And there's just too much to play, But it's been a slow news week, so there's a little bit to talk about. Not that much compared to previous weeks, but before we get there, I want to do our usual patron birthday shout outs and a few super chats, and then we'll move on. So first of all, happy almost birthday to Lord Metarex. Your birthday is on Monday the 20th, so next Monday. Happy almost birthday. And then happy almost birthday to our good friend Becca, whose birthday is on Wednesday the 22nd. So I will have to wish you a happy belated birthday when I see you at PAX East next week, and I can't wait. So happy birthday to you both. And then something not nearly as happy as a birthday, very sad actually. Rest in peace to the actor Lance Reddick, who passed away today at 60 years old from natural causes, which is so young to pass away from natural causes. That's just heartbreaking. And I was... Personally, I think we all can say we were really big fans of his work. He was Silence in the Horizon series. He was in Destiny. He was in one of my favorite TV shows, Lost. I mean, he had so many incredible roles.
He's in John Wick.
John Wick, yeah, exactly. Yep. So what an incredible talent. He will surely be missed. And, of course, all of our thoughts go out to his family and friends. It's just one of those things where you wake up and I was like, wait, what? Like, because he seems so young and healthy. I know he was 60, but still, that's young for natural causes.
40.
He looked 40, exactly.
He looked better than I do. Almost 40.
So, it's way too soon to speculate about what's going to happen with his, characters in various series and whatnot. So we won't do that right now. But, just really sad. An amazing talent, and he will be missed. And apparently, from what I've heard, he was one of the good ones. A really genuinely kind person.
I was wondering why I saw a story from the John Wick. I thought it was just something heartwarming, but I saw somebody telling a story about Lance Reddick talking about how nice Keanu Reeves was, because for Keanu Reeves' birthday, he was doing an interview. He was talking about how he met. It was Keanu Reeves' birthday, and he decided to come to set even though he wasn't needed that day. I think it was. I forget which.
I think I remember hearing about this. Yeah.
And he's like, I just want to see Lance. That's all he wanted. He just wanted to hang out with Lance for his birthday, which tells you how good of a dude he must be.
Yeah. Well, really sad. He will certainly be missed, and rest in peace, Mr. Reddick. Where you will certainly be missed. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to some super chats, and then we will talk about what little news there is to talk about this week. So first off, we've got, let's see here, Disney Duncan with $5. Thank you. Yo, GVG, not only is it St. Patrick's Day, but it's also my sister's birthday, who also is in Korea. Well, happy birthday to your sister who is in Korea. We hope she's having a great time and eating a lot of wonderful Korean food and having a great time. So thank you for that, Duncan. Next up is $5 from our good friend Jaden Buck. Crazy Question Fridays, crazy question number 75. How are we already at 75?
I know.
In the spirit of St. Patrick's Day, what kinds of food do you think should never be colored green? Pizza. Pizza should not be colored green. I don't want to eat green pizza.
Mashed potatoes.
Good one.
Oh, God.
Sometimes my wife and I will have, we'll get beer and then, put a little green food coloring in it to celebrate, St. Patrick's Day in our own little way. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. What about you, Daniel? Any ideas?
Oh, God. I'm trying to think of something, and just something that isn't already, expired by the time it's green.
Oh, Botaniac is a good one. Ketchup, and they did that.
Pines
actually did that, and it looks so gross.
I'm more impressed by I Eat Dragons. It's hard to disagree with that one. Cheese.
Ugh. Yeah.
Cheese. Well, there's your pizza. That shouldn't. If it's not pesto sauce on cheese, I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah. Okay.
True. You know what? I'll go Dr. Seuss here. Eggs.
Ah, good
Ooh.
one. Good one as well.
I've cracked a green egg before. It is deeply unpleasant.
Yeah, that it
God.
is. Oh, man.
Lord.
Well, speaking of something that is not unpleasant to think about, we've got a great question from Mighty Ryan with $5. Thank you so much, Ryan, and to you too, Jaden. Thank you. Hypothetical question, but if Capcom were to sell off the Mega Man IP, which publisher/developer would you like to see take the series? And you know what? I'll give you two. Inti Creates or Yacht Club. One of those two, I'd be perfectly happy with taking over Mega Man.
Mm-hmm.
What about you guys?
That'd be good.
Any other of these?
I've been playing a lot of Grim Guardians lately, so I would agree with Inti Create.
Yeah.
They've got the right chops for it.
Well, and they've
done it
proven they have
before.
the chops. They've done Mega Man 9, 10, and the Zero series. And ZX as well.
Yeah.
ZX secretly one of the best Mega Man series ever.
I love it. I hear you. ZX is great. It's underloved for sure. And never finished. Still has a cliffhanger at the end of the second game. I hate it.
Yep.
Anything you wanted to add, Daniel, or should I move on?
Probably I think Way Forward could do a good job with Mega Man.
Way Forward as well. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, this is perfect, Daniel. We've got a question for you in our next super chat. John Salter with $5. Thank you, John. Question for Tales expert Daniel. Tales of Berseria is on sale for $10 on Steam. Do you recommend it?
I do recommend it. For $10, Berseria is probably one of the best Tales games that's come out, and also one of the more recent ones. It's a very raw story. If you want some real darkness in your story, it's a revenge story, honestly.
Ooh,
it's not really what Tales goes for. And
nice.
Yeah, I think it executes it pretty well.
Nice.
Definitely worth $10.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
Cool. And thank you, Steve. By the way, you just pointed out I skipped one by accident.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's what
Rec
DMs are
BCQ is
for.
$5. Sorry about that. Rec, thank you very much. I didn't get the job, but that's fine because I'm going to PAX East for the first time. I'm so excited because I've wanted to go for years. Well, I'm so sorry you didn't get the job. We were hoping for obviously the opposite result, but I'm so glad that I get to meet you in person at PAX East next week. So really sorry you didn't get it, but I am happy to meet you there next week. So
it'll also please you to know jobs are overrated. If
yes.
I didn't need one, I wouldn't have one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, indeed. All right. Well, one more super chat for now, and then we'll move on to what little news we have to discuss this week. $5 from Tinker. Thank you very much. Super random, but Triangle Strategy is 50% off on Steam as part of the spring sale, but not on Switch and the Square Enix sale. So that is a game that I really wanted to play, but never got around to. Hopefully one of these days I will, because it always really intrigued me. Yeah, if you're like me and you haven't played it yet, but you want to, and you have the time, unlike me, go pick it up on Steam. It's half off, which is really cool.
You
Play that
only
and
don't have the
Octopath
time
at the same time.
Yeah, I was gonna say. It's just because you sold your soul to Octopath.
Yeah, well, true. I've sold my soul to Square in general between Theater Rhythm and Octopath. I wish they would space out their releases more. God, why would you release those two a week apart? Jeez. All right. Well, we do have a little bit of news to talk about. I will, of course, read out the rest of the super chats as they come in later in the show. But this is how you know it's a slow news week. The biggest story of the week is a Persona 5 mobile game. So we just got the announcement. Fair enough. Well, we just got the announcement of Persona 5, the Phantom Cross, or X, however you want to say it. I've also seen it be called Persona 5 Cross Phantom of the Night. I don't know, but it's a mobile game, free to play. And the speculation right now is that it will have gacha, but we can't actually find hard confirmation that it will be a gacha-based game. But if it's free to play, it almost feels like it's inevitable that it will be. So that's where we're at right now. And apparently, from what I understand, it is a side story to the main Persona 5 game with a new set of characters. And I guess the main Persona 5 characters are going to put in cameo appearances in this game. But that's pretty much is what we know so far. Daniel, you said you're excited about this, man. Tell us why.
So I wasn't really when I woke up and I heard there was news of a Persona mobile game. I was like, oh wow! So they finally got tired of Joker and going into every mobile game possible crossover and just decided to just do their own mobile game instead. And I was like, okay, what could this be? I looked at it. It looks like a console Persona 5 game.
Yeah,
it does. It really does.
The presentation, they say that there's your actual day-to-day life and phantom thieving sides to the game, so it feels like just an extension to Persona 5, kind of like how the Phantom Strikers was as well, the Warriors game. And yeah, there's new characters, there's a new mascot, there's an owl instead of a cat, there's an owl, and as your mascot instead.
I love this owl.
Me too. It's a great design.
It looks so cool with its hoodie, and it gets tonfas, and then its persona is Rob Roy, which is a freaking mecha. It looks like kind of like a samurai pizza cat. Like, this thing is awesome.
Immediately better than Morgana, just because it is also avian. The owls are like one of my top favorite, the top echelon of birds for me. So that's already a win.
And if an owl is telling you to go to sleep, there is something wrong.
Right. That's true.
But yeah. So we're not super sure what it's going to be like what the gameplay itself is going to be. It's developed by a Chinese company instead. So there's a lot we don't know quite yet. But we do see some of the story elements. There's a new Velvet Room attendance. The Velvet Room is different now. It's like a sunken ship. It's underwater, like an aquarium. It looks really cool. I like how they went with that. And I'm wondering what that like personifies for the main character in this game.
There's a heavy pirates theme with the characters, because the protagonist's persona is Janosik, which is a Slavic highwayman, kind of like Robin Hood. And then the female protagonist, Arai, hers is Awilda, which is a princess that was betrothed to a prince and decided, like, nah, screw that. I'm going to go become a pirate. I don't want to marry this guy. So
okay.
Now, Dan, you mentioned a Chinese company is developing this game, and I Eat Dragons in our live audience chat actually identified that company. It is Perfect World, and they say that Perfect World developing it is what makes them believe it's a gacha game. But yeah, can't imagine it not having some monetization practices either way. And I completely agree with that.
It is free to play, so it only hints over what the core monetization will be.
I mean, it makes sense that you can easily just take the personas and make them into gacha elements.
Right.
You go to the Velvet Room, you do your gacha turn in, and there you go. You need to go through mementos in order to get the stuff, in order to do your dives and get the currency in order to do those pools if you want to without spending money. You can totally wrap it around pretty easily.
Right.
Yeah, I can see that happening. But yeah, I mean, Persona 5 has become like Square Enix's Final Fantasy VII. They're going to keep on making title after title with this game, with just one singular entry in the series.
Right. Master of Hamsters makes a great point in our YouTube chat saying, not going to lie, it looks like some modded Persona 5 with their own fan characters. And I kind of got the same vibe from that when I watched the trailer. I'm like, yeah, this looks like Persona 5, but with characters I just don't recognize. But yeah, it does look really good, though, visually. As you guys are saying, it looks like Persona 5 on mobile. So hopefully it turns out to be something exciting. Of course, we'll have to see how it's monetized. It will definitely be monetized somehow since it's free to play.
And who knows it's even going to leave China.
That's true. We don't even know if it's going to come out of China. Yeah.
Japan's going to get no title. But,
yeah.
But yeah.
Exactly.
I'll be keeping an eye on this and seeing what develops as time goes on.
For sure. Well, something we never saw it coming. I didn't make that joke earlier because it's been done to death, but yeah. So Persona 5 Cross, we'll see what happens with that. But for now, we got an interesting set of releases on Nintendo Switch Online this week, kind of out of nowhere. Yesterday, we got Kirby's Dream Land 2 and Burger Time Deluxe for Game Boy, Xevious on the NES, and Side Pocket on the Super Nintendo, all added to the service at once. Kirby's Dream Land 2 and Burger Time Deluxe, of course, probably speak for themselves, as does Xevious. Side Pocket, though, is a billiards game for Super Nintendo, which I have come to learn apparently has an amazing soundtrack, courtesy of our good patron 112, as well as some people on Twitter. Apparently, it's got a great jazzy soundtrack. I never played any billiards games on Super Nintendo, including Side Pocket. But this is my opportunity to apologize. I think I made a tweet about this that I think came off as more snarky than I meant for it to. I was basically making fun of the fact that we're just getting more games that very few people really care about on Switch Online. But I actually do genuinely think that it's cool that really obscure games like Side Pocket get a chance to shine on NSO and people can try them out. So I actually do think that's cool. And I didn't mean to come off as snarky as I did. I didn't mean to sound that negative. So we got these 4 games. Dreamland 2 is always a great one to revisit. And Derek, that was your first Kirby game, right?
Yeah, I was going to say that was my first Kirby game. So
yeah,
I can't hate that. That's a good one. I've not really played much Burger Time, so I don't know. Xevious I've heard of, not really checked it out. But I gotta say, Side Pocket is the one that kind of made me laugh the most, because I looked at the gameplay of it, and I had a revelation because I watch Game Grumps on occasion while I'm cooking or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And they recently started playing a Sega Saturn game called Minnesota Fats Pool Legend, which was freaking hilarious because it has a live action cutscenes and a story revolving around pool. It is beautiful FMV goodness, cheesiness, wonderful. It's like amazing.
That's wild.
All that stuff. And it was released on the Saturn. And the gameplay is exactly the same as Side Pocket. And they ended up enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. The UI, everything, it's from Data East. They just basically took their engine from Side Pocket and turned it into this Minnesota Fats game. Yes.
Wow.
Interesting.
It was like the weirdest sense of like serendipity I've ever seen.
Huh. I would never have even guessed the connection between those two games. That's wild.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
I'm assuming I'm not looking it up officially, but let me try that just out of curiosity.
Moawe and our live audience chat, I want to make it clear, I am not dissing Dreamland 2. Kirby's Dreamland 2 is a great game. I was commenting on the overall idea that we keep getting games that, are not the heavy hitters other than Dreamland 2 in this particular drop. But I was just I was ribbing Side Pocket and such, but no, Dreamland 2 is great.
Here it is. According to the wiki entry, it's released in Japan as Side Pocket 2, and it is a sequel to Data East's earlier success, Side Pocket. So this was a successful game back in the day.
Fair enough. I had never heard of it. And Vedran touched on something in our live audience chat that I want to mention as well. Part of the issue, I think, too, is that these are the first NES and SNES games we've gotten in like 9 months. So I think it would, it would be a little more exciting if we were getting them slightly more often. So for these to, for that to be like one of the first games we get in 9 months is like a little bit deflating for me personally. But hey, it's still content. It's still new games. And hey, enough people have come out of the woodworks to tell me that Side Pocket is actually pretty cool that I'm going to check it out.
Who knew?
Oh my God.
Yeah, who knew?
Literally, I had finished watching Andu's video on Kirby and Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. I literally finished watching it. I went to Twitter. There's another Kirby game available to play, and Andu's having a meltdown because, well, in a good way, because
he just released his video.
As he said, being a Kirby fan is the easiest thing in the world. We just wait, and Kirby just happens out of nowhere. So we'll probably hear about that soon enough.
They showed 2 other different Kirby games, and this one shows up before any of that, just as a random drop.
And by the way, as easy as Kirby games tend to be, if you're going to go for all 7, I think they're rainbow drops in Kirby's Dream Land 2. Prepare to put in some work. Probably much easier in save states, but it's not easy.
I never could do it as a kid. There is one of them I could never get. Just was able to do it later, but man, that was rough.
Kirby is the easiest, hardest game I've ever played. Just in all its games, like Kirby's Dream Land Deluxe, those challenge areas, they were hard, man.
I've heard that you really have to put in a lot of work to fully complete Dreamland Deluxe. I'll get to it eventually. I played the original on Wii, loved it, but I just have too much else to play right now to like put it to the top of the pile. But I'll check it out eventually. Steve, you've been pretty quiet, man. Anything you want to mention about these 4 NSO games, or shall we move on?
No, they're terrible. I have zero interest in any
Whoa!
of them.
Did you just actually diss Dreamland 2?
I'm just saying, I don't give a shit about a single one of these. Like, this was another one of those ones where Nintendo just leaks out a trailer and hope nobody notices. They're like, check out these 4 classics, and I see Side Pocket, and I'm like, I can ignore this.
See,
I don't need to
I am over
download
here being
this
like,
update.
oh, guys, I didn't mean to be as negative as I sounded, and Steve's over here like,
terrible.
Screw this. I don't.
He's like, you didn't get negative enough.
Yeah, Ash, you didn't go all the way to the dark side.
You're weak, Ash.
I think because I'm known for not going to the
You're
dark side,
talking about a company with the greatest back catalog of all time giving you Side Pocket. That's like a slap in the mouth, all right?
No, you're totally right. I think I always feel guilty when I go to the dark side or even come close because that's just not what I'm known for.
It's like the equivalent of somebody with like hundreds of dollars in their wallet and you ask them for some money and they give you like a nickel and they're like, don't spend it all in one place. Like Nintendo's like, okay, we could do like all these genre defining classics we have. And then someone in the back of the room's like, give them the shitty Data East one.
Yeah. Right. Oh man, Super Dank Awesome Unicorn guy in our YouTube chat asking, what is with all this side pocket slander? I think there are more side pocket fans than we all realize.
Or it's ironic, one of the two.
Listen, that's I'm fine. I'm sure that it's an okay game. It might even be good, but I'm not putting that up against Nintendo's greatest games of all time. Like,
right,
when you know, like, the back catalog Nintendo has, it's like they went to GameStop, like, thrust their fist into the bin of dirty old used games, grabbed one, and they're like, that's going on NSO.
Yeah.
It says Chad on the back. Plug it into the thing.
Yeah. Well, we do at least have some exciting games on the horizon. We know we're coming, like the Zelda Oracle games, Mario Party 3, 1080 degree snowboarding.
Right.
I don't think Metroid Zero Mission was officially confirmed, but it's got to be coming, right?
It's got to be.
It's got to be.
The Fusion is out.
And GCM of Chaos, I'm salty we don't have Chrono Trigger. You're going to give us a third-party Super Nintendo game that isn't Chrono Trigger.
I am forever salty we don't
There's
have
no
Chrono
way
Trigger.
Square Enix will allow Chrono Trigger to be released on NSO.
Oh, I agree. I blame Square Enix for that one, but I'm just saying.
You know what's really cool though? On the Chrono side of things, they did release a patch for the Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers edition that actually makes a big difference. Like, most versions of the game now run at 60 FPS in battle, which is really cool. If you played the original version of Chrono Cross, which like ran at 20 FPS if you were lucky. And even on Switch, I feel I've heard it hit 60 much of the time, just not all the time. So if you've been waiting on that and you want to play Chrono Cross, now's the best time to jump into that version. Just kind of an aside that I kind of came across my desk recently. All right. Well, like I said, slow news week. Let's talk a little bit about the next Splatfest that was just announced by Nintendo. It is going to be a showdown between 3 controversial creatures, and that is Nessie, Aliens, and Bigfoot. And that is why I put Tessie from Earthbound on the thumb, because I'll never have any reason to ever do that again. And I'm like, well, let's do it. This is the time. Personally, I'm Team Aliens, but what about you guys?
Oh, that's hard.
I mean, the question is which of these is real, and I feel like the closest one to be real is Aliens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I should specify which one is real. Yeah.
We've deconfirmed Nessie long ago. We've definitely deconfirmed Bigfoot. Aliens.
Yeah, I'm going to say aliens are definitely the most likely to be real. I'm going to say that the people that play Splatoon, like, okay, hold on. I have to go back to our last one. Do you remember the last Splatfest?
Yes,
the chocolate,
milk, dark, and white chocolate. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with y'all. The minute I saw that there was white chocolate, and we all know what that looks like when you're spraying it around in Splatoon, I was like, that's the team that's going to win.
I should have factored that in.
Yeah.
I factored that in the blink of an eye. I was like, that's the team that's going to win. Like 90% of players are on it. So,
and you were right. You were right too.
Yeah. I had no doubt. And I have that same feeling that it's going to be Nessie this time. I think people just like Nessie. They're not going to read the question. They're just going to go, Nessie. I like Nessie. That's cute. And then they're going to click on that one.
Yeah,
You're
probably right.
Nessie on my Team Nessie over here.
See?
Yeah. I'm torn between Team Aliens and Team Nessie. I'd probably go with Aliens, but at least Team Bigfoot is alive in Grand Theft Auto 5 fans' hearts. That's pretty much the only place where we know Bigfoot exists. Oh, Red Dead Redemption.
As an editor, I have to go with Team Alien because I'll be like, I read the prompt, and I factored the statistical probability.
Yeah.
It is Team Aliens for me.
Team Aliens for sure. Yeah, so I mean that's really all there is to say about that. New Splatfest coming. That's the theme. Should be fun. Splatfests are always a good time, but that really, at least this will be the first time we get a chance to go back to the first games plaza. Was it Inkopolis? Sorry, Derek. Which one is it?
Oh, Inkopolis Square.
Yeah,
Inkopolis Square. Okay, I got it right. So this is the first time we'll have a chance to go celebrate a Splatfest back in Inkopolis via Splatoon 3. So that'll be fun. And then I guess the last thing to talk about briefly is Nintendo's own PAX East plans, which again, I'll be there next week. They have confirmed, for those of you who are still holding out hope, they have confirmed that Tears of the Kingdom, it was never going to happen. I never expected it, but they have confirmed it's not happening. So sorry to those of you who are still holding out hope. But their actual plans, of course, are significantly less interesting because Tears of the Kingdom would have been incredibly hype. But basically, they're doing championships for Splatoon 3 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which I will try to watch. I'd love to check out both. I always love watching high-level play in tons of games. Particularly, it'd be fun to watch Mario Kart, I think. So I'm going to try to catch that. There's also going to be the Nintendo Versus Arcade that will be open all 4 days of PAX East. And it's going to have games, participants will be treated to a fun series of challenges from Mario Party Superstars, Yoshi's Crafted World, Mario Golf Super Rush, and the original Super Mario Brothers, which is the weirdest spread of games. What? Like
Nintendo just like, what do we? Again,
we need to do something.
What can we get that on? Whatever.
We need to do something. So they're doing something. And so not very exciting if you were looking forward to playing unreleased games or upcoming games, but it'll be fun to watch some high-level Mario Kart and Splatoon, hopefully. But yeah, that's just leaves more time for all the other cool stuff that'll be there, especially all the indie games. So that's what I always look forward to at PAX. I always dedicate at least a day or the most of a single day to just wandering the show floor and discovering tons of new indie games that I'd never heard of before. So I'll definitely be doing that this year as well. Looking forward to it. But yeah, that's really the news for this week. Like I said, slow news week. So we're going to go ahead and read out a few more super chats, and then we will move on to our patron topics for the week. First off, we've got Mako Born with $5. Thank you very much. Any chance of a tier list ranking the Zelda games in preparation for Tears of the Kingdom? And Daniel and Brandon, any interest to do other Zelda randomizers? Well, I would love to do a tier list ranking of Zelda.
Yeah.
I think that would get very contentious. We may not be friends afterward, but I'd still like to do it.
We definitely wouldn't.
Yeah.
I have plans for Zelda, but but it's not a tier list.
Daniel, what about you? Any interest in doing other Zelda randomizers?
So that was the other thing I played this week with Brandon. We did a Zelda combo randomizer with Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask in the same game. He was playing Ocarina of Time, I was playing Majora's Mask, and it ended up being harder than we thought because we thought we set the parameters so that it could be easier on us, but in fact we had to give me the Ocarina of Time, but also the Song of Time. I only had the Ocarina because in Majora's Mask, if you don't have the Song of Time, you're actually stuck unless you happen to find it, and you can't go back in time and reset. And then Brandon couldn't get past we found the Master Sword in a cave somewhere, and he couldn't go past the Door of Time to put it down and become an adult. And we found out later that one of the spiritual stones was in the adult timeline.
Oh no!
And so when we finally gave up, when all of our options were exhausted, we found out that we probably did a seed where it was not possible to beat. So we're gonna restart that with the proper options for us tomorrow.
Nice.
Tomorrow at noon Pacific on our channel, Twitch at official GVG. We're gonna start that again. We're gonna go pretty hard on it because we were committed. We were very. We were so invested in that, and we want to make it happen this time. So for real, tomorrow we'll be doing a randomizer. But in the future, we'll see how this goes. We'll probably do an easier one because this is definitely on a higher tier of difficulty. But yeah, that's our first randomizer, so we're still learning and feeling it out. But we're definitely open to doing more in the future.
Nice. Well, I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun when you get to it. And yeah, you told me a little bit about your horror stories from your Ocarina of Time randomizer this week, and it sounded wild. So
it's crazy.
Yeah. Next up, we've got $2 from Wataniac. Thank you very much. How about them Tekken trailers, fellas? Referring to, of course, to the Tekken 8 trailers showing off Paul Phoenix, Martial Law, and I believe King came out today as well. And yeah, I haven't watched King's yet, but I've watched every other one.
Dude, you got to watch King's. King's is amazing.
I will. I've been watching every single one.
There's a section during King's trailer where he's cutting a promo on a mic, and he's just doing his Jaguar growls.
Oh, that's awesome. I love Tekken so
good.
Much. I love the Tekken universe and just the very specific vibe it has. Steve, I'm sure you've been watching all the Tekken
I
trailers
haven't.
too, right? What?
I haven't.
Oh my god.
I have. Well, for those of you that don't remember, last
television?
week I was in Colorado and I was kind of in a booze-filled haze most of
Fair
that
enough.
week. And then I got home and I've been trying to catch up on stuff. And then Bayonetta came out today, so I spent most of my day playing that. Yeah, I didn't even realize there were trailers coming out, to be honest. I love Tekken, but I'm like such a casual Tekken fan. Like somebody has to tell me it's out and then I try it. I suck at Tekken. Like I'm the worst.
Me too.
I've never
I like it, but I suck at it.
Owned a Tekken game, so if I get 8, then it would be my first.
Yeah, I picked up 7 because it had Akuma. And I was like, this is rad. And then I got the utter snot beat out of me online. I was like, never again.
Oh, yeah. I know this isn't what you said, Derek, but on my end, for some reason, it sounded like you said, I've never boned a Tekken game before. And I know you said own, but I just had to point out that that's what it sounded like on my end. So do with that what you will.
Friday.
Digital or physical.
Fridays.
Yeah.
Ash is tired.
Yep. Well, this is some good... Oh, go ahead, Derek.
Well, I was thinking they also showed off Jin, Kazuya, and Nina.
Well, I believe those were last week or last couple of weeks, right?
Yeah. They've been...
Yeah.
I think we've finally got through all the characters. No, we have Lars left. We haven't seen Lars.
Right. And where's Panda? When are they going to confirm Panda? That's who I want to see.
Panda will be there.
Yeah, she has to be. Yeah. Well, these are some really good vibes. Son of a Fitch with $9.99. Thank you so much. Got engaged this week to my partner. Ooh. Sending all my love and good vibes to the whole crew and audience.
Oh, congratulations.
Awesome.
We are so happy for you. That is awesome. And thank you so much for the super chat. All the best to you. That is awesome. Next up, I love this name, Ross Crispies with £5. Thank you so much, Ross. Happy Paddy's Day from Ireland, lads. Have a good one. Well, thank you. Happy St. Paddy's Day to you as well.
Yeah.
From Ireland. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Last one for now, and then we will move on to our patron topics. Lizard81288 with $5. Thank you very much. Did you see the Toxic Crusaders trailer? It looks like Shredder's Revenge, which I think is a good thing. Well, yes, that is definitely a good thing, but no, I have not seen this. So I will be watching that later tonight. I haven't even heard of it.
We might maybe do that in the post show. I just saw it. I didn't realize it was a thing. I remember there was an old Toxic Crusaders cartoon.
Yep.
Then I never realized that was based on a trauma film, which is they made cartoons out of anything in the 80s.
Yeah, I've never heard of this, but I mean anything that reminds you of Shredder's Revenge is a thumbs up for me. 2 thumbs up. So yeah, we'll watch it during the post show. And well, speaking of patron exclusive things like our post show, it is now time for our patron topics. Just as a reminder, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/GVGaming. And if you support us at the producer tier, which is $10 a month, you can suggest topics for us to discuss during each week's GVGcast, just like the ones we're about to discuss right now. And Daniel, it's been a little while since you've been on the show, man. So why don't you get us started?
Sure. This is a pretty brief one. It's from Grantles saying, I've had Kirby on the mind a lot lately. I've been playing Kirby games on Superstar as me writing this. So my question is, who is your favorite character out of the main Kirby trio? The pink guy himself, King DDD, or Meta Knight? Nice. For me, honestly, I know Kirby's the easy answer, but I actually really like King DDD. I've always been a big DDD fan.
Yeah.
And just it's funny how his design just keeps changing, but 64 DDD is probably my favorite because that's the first time I've actually ever played Kirby and has seen King DDD. He's just a round, angry-looking penguin. But just seeing him throughout the series, I even watched a video on how he's not a very good king.
No, he's not.
No. He's a self-proclaimed king. But I mean, you see parts where he does care about his friends as time goes on. He cares about Kirby. In the Forgotten.
He tries to protect the world half the time.
He does. He has moments. He has moments like in Kirby's Adventure with the fountain, the Dream Fountain, or the Fountain of Dreams. Forgotten Land, where he's ready to sacrifice himself for all of his Waddle Dee subjects. Yeah,
making sure his Waddle Dees are okay, and just I love the silly club penguin look he has now in Return of the Dreamland Deluxe. Keep that DDD. He's that's peak penguin right there. But I love the big lad.
How did you feel when you first heard his southern drawl? That there southern drawl from the animated show. How did you feel about that when you first heard that?
4 kids. You just had to do this to my boy.
I still love that Rick the Hamster is Australian. For no apparent reason.
I actually didn't know that. I never saw an episode with Rick in it.
Write that down for the post show, everyone. We got to show Ash.
Oh boy,
Australian
that's amazing.
That series is crazy. That's the first time one of the first times I heard Mike Pollock, because he's the mayor of Cappytown in that as well.
Oh, nice.
And the Hispanic Meta Knights as well. You cannot.
I know Meta Knights. Yeah,
just where all these accents come from.
That Spicy Altana just says "I dos mío."
I dos mío.
I do Spanish in that show. It's so random. Yeah, I love it.
Otherwise, I mean, for me, I gotta agree with Daniel, DDD.
Yeah.
Plus, he has a fantastic theme.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
It just gets better. Like in the Forgotten Land, are you kidding me? He just has him roaring in the
it's so
the
good.
song itself.
Yeah. What about you, Steve?
I like the straight man in comedy, so I'm going to go with Meta Knight, because I feel like he's the only one that doesn't fit in. He's like, what the hell are you all doing? Right. You're going to war. Grab a weapon. Jesus.
Pick up the sword, Kirby.
Yeah. Fight something.
I'm mixed here, because this is simultaneously like the easiest question ever for me, but I'm also horrified that I'm the only one of us four representing the main man himself. Kirby, that's easy. Kirby is not only my favorite of the three, he is my favorite Nintendo character of all time, and it's not even close.
Kirby is a circle with other circles drawn on it.
And he can eat whatever he wants and absorb powers and never gain weight. It is like the dream ability.
That's bullshit. There's a whole game about him gaining weight.
That's true. But at the end of the day, all of his weight is converted into shiny like points, and then he's
Are you sure it's just points?
Again. Well, yeah, could be something else, but Kirby is my favorite pink puffball, adorable god killer ever, and it's definitely Kirby for me. Well, thank you for that question, Grant, and Derek, why don't you go next, man?
All right, I went with Sean Davis, who asked if Nintendo made another crossover game like Smash Brothers, but it wasn't a fighting game. What kind of genre would you want it to be? And, the easy answer would be Mario Kart. Everybody's talking about Smash Kart, which would be fun and unique and interesting. But you know what? Screw it. Let's have a Mario Party. Let's have a Smash Party.
Nice.
Let's do a party game. Did I steal your... I'm sorry. Daniel, you took my DDD, so I took your Smash Party. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
See, Smash Party sounds very different to my and probably Steve's ears, but that's all I'll say on that matter.
I'm going to hell.
Well, hey, at least I didn't call it Super Smash Party.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Then we're going to Super Hell. But no, it'd be cool to have each of the characters go through and have all kinds of widen the mini game gap, like shooting down stuff with Samus, or a little navigate the dungeon with Link or whatever. There's a lot of potential there. Let's do it.
Man, this is hard for me because my easy, obvious answer is Smash Kart, Nintendo Kart, whatever. And I do want that, but because that's like the obvious one, I'll go with something out of left field and say let's get an RPG. Let's get a turn-based JRPG style game crossing over with various Nintendo characters. I'd be down to construct a party of like Link and Pit and Kirby and Mario or whatever. Like I think that would be really cool. Like saving the Nintendo multiverse. Sign me up.
That Alpha Lane, that's just Project Cross Zone.
Yeah, the Nintendo version of Project Cross Zone. Project Nintendo Zone, whatever you want to call it.
Hey, they have Monolith. Do it.
I'm in. I think that would be great.
Do handle it the way they did with Chrono Cross. Just have a massive roster of characters you can choose from.
Oh, right.
Just pick your favorites. Pick and choose your favorites.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the way that Derek was talking about like a Mario Party, like you have different boards of different characters' worlds. With like mini games, would it be cool if, let's say, you have like Mario, Link, Samus, and I don't know, like Ness, for example, because I have Ness on Earthbound on my mind, and there's like a mini game where you have to swing a sword, but Link just uses his sword, and everyone else just gets like their own sword. So like characters that are thematic to that game just kind of use what they have. Like there's going to be a shooting game with Samus, like she would just use her arm cannon, but everyone gets like a blaster gun, like Mario's blaster from Mario and Rabbids. Just something to make it thematic that way. I don't know. I'm thinking of Fortune Street as well. Like they were really cool and thematic that way. I just want another Fortune Street at all.
Same.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah.
What about you, Steve? Any ideas for?
I'm surprised nobody did it. My idea would have been a 3D collectathon. Like,
oh sure.
Like let me play as various different Nintendo characters in different 3D universes. So like Link in Bob-omb Battlefield, or like Mario at the Temple of Time fighting Ganon. That would be rad. Like just pick Ganon up by the tail and like chuck him.
Yeah, hell yeah. Great ideas across the board. I not that Nintendo will ever do any of them.
No,
they should have done this. Cool. They should have done all of these ideas when they introduced Amiibo. That's when they should have done that.
Yeah, that would be opportune.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that question, Sean. And Steve, you're up, man.
All right. My topic this week comes from Moon Knight. Moon Knight writes, Do you think Nintendo's approach towards Tears of the Kingdom may hurt potential normal sales? I've seen people discussing that game, that some out of the gaming circle even think Tears is a DLC or expansion and not a full game, with how little they've explained what it really is. I wonder if this secretive campaign may backfire, as I honestly agree that they've been hiding a lot of this game, and I wish I knew more. Respectfully have to disagree. The big reason being, I think Nintendo doesn't really need to message 7 years later that this is a new game. Like, I think most people are going to get that. And I know most people won't know, but there will be enough buzz and word of mouth to be like, hey, a new Zelda's out. Like, they don't need to worry about people knowing there's a new Zelda out. So I don't think it's not going to be like the Wii U, where they potentially confuse people on what the whole thing is. And I also firmly believe that within 4 weeks from now, we're not going to be able to escape this damn game wherever we go.
Oh, yeah.
It's worth mentioning, like, if you're ancient like me, Nintendo was really quiet about Ocarina of Time for a very long time. And then, like, you suddenly couldn't turn on the TV without seeing a commercial for it. They were running the ad before movies in the theater. It was annoying. Like, as someone who was trying to, like, be on blackout at that time, I was like, please stop. Like, you know, my parents would even be like, hey, Steve, did you see that ad for the Zelda game that you've been waiting for? Did you know, like, I was like, stop, please leave me alone. So I think Nintendo's going to bombard us with this. I don't think there's going to be a lot of new information in the ads we see. It's going to be some, you know, you're going to see Link run, jump off a thing, and then sailing through the sky. And a bunch of people who never heard of it are going to be like, did you see that new game where Link's in the sky? And his hair's real long. So I think we're going to get a ton of marketing, but it's not going to contain a ton of new information. And I think Nintendo, like they are with Mario and Pokemon, are confident enough that they can just say, new Zelda, and people will buy it.
Right. Well, Steve, as a fellow ancient, I just have a few questions for you, man. Willst thou sink or swim? Willst thou finish or die trying? And in the end, willst thou soar or willst thou suck?
I mean, I hate to say it, but my 20s answered a lot of those questions.
Oh, man, I still remember that commercial like it was yesterday, too. It's wild. Same to that and the Final Fantasy VII commercial. If he fails, you can always hit the reset button. It's ridiculous.
They got hard.
90s ads were so good in a bad way.
They were. They really were. I so agree. Man, I agree with you, Steve. It's Zelda. It's gonna be fine, and I think we're gonna get an absolute blowout next month for Tears of the Kingdom. We'll probably even get a Tears of the Kingdom focused direct. I'm thinking. They have not. You know, obviously the trailer we saw during the recent direct, they're clearly holding some things close to their chest still. It didn't show anything mind-blowingly different or weird or crazy. So I think we're still in for an absolute blitz of marketing for this game, and we're not going to be able to escape it, like you said, Steve, given a month's time.
Prediction. I just thought of something that makes complete sense and would be brilliant on Nintendo's part. Let's see if they actually do it. We're going to get new information, maybe even the direct, before the end of this month. The reason being, if they have a new trailer, they can pop that baby right in front of the Mario movie.
That's a good point.
That's so true. That is so true. Yeah.
You know, the interesting thing is too, and I talked about this on our Patreon exclusive podcast, patreon.com/GVGaming. There's still that OLED. There's still that Switch OLED, the Tears of the Kingdom themed OLED, which is all but confirmed to be real because, and again, going way back, on the left Joy-Con, there was like a little icon that nobody had seen before. And then when Nintendo revealed the collector's edition of Tears of the Kingdom, that same piece of art was on the collector's edition. So that OLED had a piece of art that is official and is actually on stuff that nobody had seen yet, which makes it all like that's too much of a coincidence, you know, to be anything but an actual leak. So Nintendo has like a hardware SKU that they're planning to launch. Presumably, you know, normally when they do like a themed piece of hardware, they do it like a week or two before the game comes out. So that kind of lines up with your whole idea that they do it before the end of this month, because you don't want to just drop hardware, you know, with zero notice. You want people to save up their $349 or whatever they're going to charge for this. Right. And they're not going to include the game, of course, because it's Nintendo.
Right. Of course not. Of course not. I actually didn't really love the leak design for the Tears of the Kingdom Switch, so I'm not really too sad I'll be missing out on it. Like I got the Splatoon 3 one over the holidays, and I'm so happy with that one. I love the design, and yeah, I feel like I'm good on the Zelda one, but you'll probably get it right.
I'm a huge mark for this crap, so I want you guys to know that I pre-ordered the Zelda that came with the spoon and the fork. Like, if you ever question my idiocy, I paid a premium to get that spoon and that fork, and then I had John pre-order the European version for me so I could get the friggin' coin. I'm awful. I don't respect myself either. So,
Steve, they really forked you over on that one.
They really did.
That is such a weird pre-order bonus.
It is the weirdest pre-order bonus. Like, I know it's
objectively
a bad deal.
Bring back the Nintendo serial system with it at the very least.
Right?
Use that spoon.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Wario tweeted out. I hate that Wario tweeted out that it came with a spoon and a fork, and I checked my pre-order to make sure I was getting it. I was like, oh, man.
Well, now I'm going to be looking forward to the review when that comes in.
That's right. Oh, I pre-ordered the wooden GameStop thing too, Becca. Like I told you, I'm an easy target.
Well, the fork and spoon review specifically.
That's right. I should do a video which region had the best pre-order, and then it's none of them. They're all bad.
I want to see a full. I want to see a full review of the Tears of the Kingdom pre-order spoon and fork.
There we go.
Yeah, that's just that. Just that.
Yeah.
Bolt Mouse X, speaking my language as always. Imagine a Mega Man Switch edition, especially Battle Network themed. I would snatch that shit up in a nanosecond. Are you kidding me? In a second. Oh my god. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you. Did anyone else want to comment on Moon Knight's question before I move on?
I think you guys pretty much covered it, honestly.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, then, wasn't sure, Daniel.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
Then my topic this week comes from Squire. Thank you very much, Squire. Cliche as this may potentially sound, do you think it's normal to have uncommon opinions to stand by when it comes to the quote-unquote general consensus on certain video games? I have a genuine like for a handful of divisive games such as Sonic Lost World, Star Fox Zero, and the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes where I can see good, even great qualities despite their flaws in gameplay and heated mixed reception from others. Said heat, I find myself running into in online debates when I'm usually on my own standing up for why I like them. I'm always open to hearing different outlooks of games so long as others keep a respectful and open mind of others' mindsets, and I hope this question is able to provide a civil discussion on the matter of taking in others' opinions and outlooks. Take care now. Well, Squire, completely agree. At the end of the day, no matter what your opinion is, even if you go against the grain, civil discourse is the most important thing you can have. And of course, online, especially on social media, there's almost no such thing as civil discourse anymore. But I'm perfectly willing to have a good debate about any gaming opinions as long as the discourse remains respectful and civil. And most often it does not. And I can point to one reliably unpopular opinion I have that I have taken a lot of heat for and people have not been civil with me for. And that is the fact that despite its flaws, and it does have a lot of flaws, I love Final Fantasy 13. And that is far from the first time I've said that on this channel. I love Final Fantasy 13. Is it a perfect game? Not even close, but I still love it. And that is one of, an opinion I'll stand by to my dying breath. Same thing with 13 too. I loved 2/3 of the FF13 series.
I agree with 13 too. I know. I just have a hard time with. I have a hard time with 13. Although I will say, having played Theater Rhythm a lot, I really enjoy 13's battle theme.
13's soundtrack is so good.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I get why the people who don't like it don't. I get it. I don't begrudge them that opinion, but I just don't count myself among them.
I mean, you have your go-to. My go-to that always I feel like gets people riled up is when I am of the firm opinion that Link Between Worlds is better than Link to the Past.
Ooh.
Right. Yep, I remember we have definitely clashed on this before.
I do agree, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah, I would say I'm torn on that one. I didn't play Link to the Past when it was like a modern game, right? I played it way after it came out. And I kind of view them as equals in a sense. Like I couldn't really pin down one being better than the other. I will say though that I like the layout overall of Link Between Worlds better. I like the non-linear structure and the ability to buy items. I think that was a cool improvement to the quote unquote old Zelda formula.
It also has just one of the best gimmicks in all of Zelda.
Yeah,
the wall. Yeah.
They seamlessly implemented the wall to like everything, and it fits so natural into the grand scheme of like everything in the game, from the story to puzzle solving and everything. And I think that's part of the reason why I kind of put that forward, because they made dungeons super interesting and unlike anything we've ever seen in Zelda even today.
So the thing for me is like this is a hard one to get into because I'd make it sound, if I say I like the Link to the Past more, people automatically assume, oh, then you think A Link Between Worlds isn't, it sucks, right? No. Link Between Worlds for me is a 10 out of 10 game. It's just that A Link to the Past for me is like an 11 out of 10 game, and that's the difference. They're both phenomenal in my opinion, but the one thing that brought A Link Between Worlds down for me was the fact that because it's non-linear, there's no challenge scaling for the dungeons. The last dungeon you do is likely to be as easy as or easier than the first one you do, and that I didn't like. But the rest of the game is just pure masterclass. Like, I love it. I just a little bit A Link to the Past edges out for me. But I also played it as a kid when it first came out, when I was like 6 or 7 or whatever. So that may be informing a little bit of bias there. So I'm open to that possibility. Steve and Daniel, any unpopular opinions that you will die on that hill for?
Oh man, as far as dying on a hill, I don't know. Like there are titles that I enjoy that I know other people don't enjoy. I was perfectly fine playing Fire Emblem Fates, even though there are a lot of people who are just like, God, this game's trash.
I mean, they're not great, but they're fine.
I guess
they're like terrible games.
I guess I delved more into like the gameplay itself than actual like being laser focused on the story and the writing as much, which is probably
sure.
That's terrible. No doubt about
it. I really love Engage. Even that's a controversial opinion, is that I love Gage's story for how cheesy it is and how like it is completely confident in what it set out to do. I'm not going to spoil it, but towards the end, there's like a whole Sentai Power Rangers moment where all the emblems were coming together. And there's like, they knew exactly what they're going for. Even from the intro song you hear, it's as cheesy as hell you can get. And they dipped into that hard. And I'm thankful for it. But yeah, I can't really think of what's super controversial. I know I like some games that other people don't, but I don't know. Like, what's one that you have, Steve?
Oh man, I'm gonna piss all you off. I think Skyward Sword, until Breath of the Wild, Skyward Sword was the best 3D Zelda of all time.
Wow.
You know what? Even though I disagree, I like Wind Waker more. I actually like Skyward Sword a lot. I did back then, and I still do now. In fact, I think I like it more now than I did on Wii.
I put Skyward Sword as a top 5 Zelda game for me.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't think that's quite
my favorite,
at least among us, not as divisive.
Yeah, I mean, I did everything I could in Skyward Sword, and I didn't do that for a lot of Zelda games. I didn't even do that in Wind Waker. But
wow, I'm in good company here. Like normally when I put that one out there, I somebody breaks out a torch and a pitchfork. I wrote an article on Kotaku years and years ago about how Skyward Sword was the best Zelda game, and this was before Breath of the Wild. And the comments did not go my way at all.
Oh man, yeah, no, I really like Skyward Sword. I wouldn't put it above the Wind Waker for sure, but I really see Skyward Sword. What it does right, it does better than any other Zelda game in the series. Like story, for example, character development.
Right. I was going to say that's the key for me, is that Skyward Sword, even including Breath of the Wild, has the best character development of any Zelda game ever, because they actually pinned a story onto it. And I feel like that's something that the Zelda series traditionally is not good at. Like a lot of the story for Zelda occurs in subtext, and I like having a more fleshed out narrative between, and developing relationships between the characters, because they were trying to tell the origin story of the whole thing. And I think that really served the game well. I mean, the gameplay is all right. I think that, it's also fun and innovative. I think that it has some of the better dungeons in the whole game.
Agreed.
The time shift stones was one of the
boss fights.
Yeah, man.
Ancient Cistern is like an all-time great Zelda dungeon, in my opinion.
Yep. So I guess not controversial for this group, but that's my controversial.
I mean, mine wasn't either. So apparently,
that's the thing. Like with
it's
these
weird.
opinions, like we all have different things that we value in these games. Some people value the gameplay more. Some people value that there's a story attached to it that complements that said gameplay, or sometimes they just want to play the game. I always go back to Metroid Prime with this because there's a whole story. You can read all the scan logs, absolutely everything, and get all the context. But if you don't want to, that's fine. You can just go progress. It'll tell you where to go eventually, and you don't really need to involve yourself. They can just make it a purely gameplay experience, and some people value that more than, I don't want to read all this stuff about why the space pirates are collecting green goop. I mean, blue phazon, blue
goop. Yeah.
But yeah, like, we all value something different in these games, and just acknowledging that you might not agree with it, but to respect it is really important when there's so many flying opinions on these days with especially with games like remakes coming out like that. Some people may cling on to the original very strongly, or they may say that the remake just is completely superior, or that it still sucks. I don't know. There's all these different opinions that mix around. So
I want to hear John's opinion on RE4 so bad.
Oh, me too. Me too. Jacobon in our live audience chat reminded me of one that I hold as well, saying, I enjoy Super Smash Brothers Brawl. Hell yeah, I loved Brawl, and I played it for longer and had more fun with it than I even did Melee. Melee is great, but I played Brawl more, and I had more fun with it, straight up. But I also wasn't a wave dasher, so yeah, I love Brawl. Thought it was great.
I didn't really enjoy Brawl, but there's still a lot of memories I have attached to it with friends, and I have better memories with Melee, so I consider Melee the better game in that series. But I mean, I enjoy both to a degree.
Totally.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you for that question. That was all of our patron topics for the week. Once again, head on over to our Patreon, patreon.com/GVGaming, and sign up at the producer tier to suggest topics just like the ones we just discussed right now, or recently in the past, as the case may be. And all right, we've got a few more super chats to read out, and then we are going to head off to our patron exclusive post show. First off is Nothing Nothings with $5. Thank you so much, Steve. You look gorgeous in green. You handsome man. Not to say the rest of the GVG crew isn't looking good, but damn, Steve, you're an Adonis. You are an Adonis, my friend.
Are you super chatting on an alt right now?
Yeah, man. Right? I feel like that's my burner, right? Thank you. I appreciate that. I like being pumped up a little like that. You can submit those anytime, whoever you are.
I can't say I've ever been called an Adonis. Nice one, Steve.
Adonis.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm feeling myself now.
Next up is our good friend Aramis Baramis, always so incredibly generous with $50. Thank you so much. Hey, GVG crew, have a great cast. Well, we are, because we get to hang out with you and everyone else here every week. So thank you so much. Next up is Tinker with $5. Thank you very much. Wait, since the Shin Megami Tensei games were available in the Japanese Nintendo Switch Online, does this mean we might get the English GBA ports? It'll never happen, but I can dream. Unfortunately, you just answered your own questions.
Yeah,
never going to happen. Yeah.
Fortunately.
Yeah. Kaiser the Fighter with $2. King from Tekken versus Incineroar from Pokemon.
King,
I think. I feel like they're comparable.
I haven't watched his most recent trailer, King.
Well, wait, but Incineroar has fire abilities, though. King doesn't.
Yeah, still King.
Still King. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think it's close, but I'll go with King. Yeah, I'll go with King.
Well, maybe we should watch some of those trailers since you guys haven't seen it.
There we go.
I'm down. Thank you, Kaiser. Next up is Stacy UK with £5. Thank you. Also, Dragon Quest XII is playable, apparently. Hopefully it stays turn-based. So we are actually going to talk about this today, but the news making the rounds about DQ12 right now is actually based on news from like a year ago. So 2 years ago, actually. So it's not actually that fresh of news, so that's why we didn't talk about it. But yes, DQ12 does exist in a playable state, and I agree with you. Hopefully it does stay turn-based. We'll see what happens. Thank you. Next up is Kilomox with $9.99. Thanks so much. Rest in peace, Lance Reddick. As a massive Destiny player, I'm so sad he's gone. He had a massively positive presence in the community, and his absence will be felt. Thank you, Lance. Yes, absolutely. Rest in peace. And I think, Steve, we can all say the same thing as Horizon fans. His absence will be felt in future Horizon games as well. It's going to be really sad not to see him in future games. So totally hear you. And rest in peace, Mr. Reddick. Next up, Hank Eats Games was $30. Thank you so much for your generosity. Super excited to see Ash at PAX and got my tax refund. So happy to give back after winning one of the 4-day badges. Right, you won one of our badges. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Awesome. Going to be my first game convention ever. Also, finally picked up Famicom Detective Club. Very nice. Steve and I really enjoyed our time with this.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. And I'm very excited to meet you at PAX next week, Hank. And congrats again on winning one of our giveaway badges. Next up, Tinker with $2. Thank you. Question for Ash. Should I buy Chrono Trigger for PC? Yes, it is now, after 6 whole patches, it is now tied with the DS version as the best version of Chrono Trigger you can play. So yes, absolutely, I recommend it without hesitation. Get it on PC if that's your best option. You're good. Just don't play the PlayStation version. Do not.
Hey, shows how good of a game is. That's the way I played it first, and I still enjoyed it.
Exactly, yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, Tinker. Next up is RecBCQ is $5. Thank you very much. Ash, you're speaking my language with a Smash RPG, though I want to see the developers try to combine the universes together into a chaotic whole. Hey, I'd be down. Sure, let's just get like Xenoblade 3 style with like different elements from various worlds. Yeah, let's do it. I'd love it.
I'll take a Smash RPG even.
Yeah. Next up, $4.99 from Klaxon. Thank you. At first, a Nintendo RPG made Final Smash come to mind, and then Smash Fantasy, which is worse than Smash Party. Yeah, worse or better, depending on your.
It's like the time Ash asked Krista if she wanted to smash.
Oh God!
Oh no!
That did not happen.
You've told us this story at an event that you were talking to Krista of Kit and Krista fame at a Smash event, and you just said to her, "Want to smash?" Not thinking about.
Yeah, I would not have said it. No, thinking of that, I would never have said that. I guess I did say that.
I'm pretty sure we have that. We have that.
You
on
give me heck all the time,
somewhere.
and you did that.
I guess I told this story. I blocked it out of my mind.
I think it's deep in the TNT archives somewhere.
Wow,
I'm almost certain it's on this channel somewhere.
I must have deleted it from my brain due to sheer embarrassment. Krista, if you ever watch this, I'm so sorry I ever said that, and I definitely did not think about how it sounded as I said it. I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I completely forgot about that. Oh God, I feel gross and I'm embarrassed. All right, let's move on. All right. Next up is Archangel 23XX with $5. Thank you very much. Controversial opinion, but Battle Network 4 is all right. Has its charm. Far from the best, but I had fun with it. Hey, you know what? Fair. That's a fair opinion to have. I don't like Battle Network 4 at all, but hey, someone has to, and I'm glad that you find value in it. So yeah, thank you very much, Archangel. Next up, Disney Duncan is back with $2 more. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 versus Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Which is better? I'm biased. Only one of these games has Mega Man in it, and it's MVC2. So that's my
MVC2 is goated. You can't. Yeah,
MVC3.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I played MVC2 back in the day. Didn't really click with me, but I picked up MVC3 and I loved it. So I have to go with MVC3, just the one that actually hooked me.
There's one of your hot
fair.
takes.
That is a hot take.
I guess so. I didn't expect that to be a
yeah.
I should have known that'd be a hot take, but yeah, there you go.
I mean, you got Tron in MVC2 also. That roster is so good.
That's true. Yeah, Tron was in. Yeah, she was in 2 and 3. But yeah, only 0 got into 3. No Mega Man, and I was pretty salty about that. Just got to be 2. 2 is goated. I love being super annoying with spamming Tornado Hold as Mega Man in 2. It's a lot of fun. So yeah. Next up, Grantles with $4.99. Thank you very much, Grant. Lord, business is going to end the world on Taco Tuesday. Anywhere, here's $5. Taco Tuesday is always the best celebration or reason to celebrate any Tuesday. And thank you for the $5. And then finally, last but not least, we have $5 from Yin the Reaper. Thank you. Oh, we got one more just came in. My favorite game of all time is Majora's Mask, so it goes without saying that I love Lightning Returns, and I'll die on this hill alone. Hey, you know what? Totally fair, Yin. I'm not a fan of Lightning Returns, but I know there are people who really do love it. You're one of them, and I'm glad for that for you.
I've heard one key thing is that the area that it leans you towards as far as where you should start out at and start working on your missions is terrible. There's a different area in the game that way if you start there, it's way better. Like it eases you into things much better.
Right.
I forget which area that is, but I think if you do that, you can maybe get into it a bit more. But I remember being in that city being like, this is too big. I don't know where to go. I'm panicking because of time and this sucks.
Yeah. I think that's one of those games for me I'd probably enjoy more if I played through it just with a guide. Just going step by step, not actually trying to figure things out. I just don't really like the structure of that game. But that's just me, and I'm really glad that you enjoy it yourself, Yin. And then also, I missed this one, Owen Mitting in our YouTube chat mentioned, did you guys see my donation? And I did see it, but I missed it, and I'm so sorry. So we're going to go back to it now. Owen Mitting with 30 Canadian dollars. Thank you so much. What do you call a celebrity chef with a pumpkin for a head? Gordon Ramsay.
Oh my God.
I'm blowing you a kiss because that is such a good dad joke. I love it.
Oh my God.
Recently, y'all talked about what a good FF starting point is. Is 7 Remake a good entry to play as someone with 0 prior experience with the series?
Yep.
Yes. Wait, 7 Remake or 7?
7 Remake. And I would say if you don't care too much about having the proper context for 7 story, then yes. But personally, my recommendation, if you're going to get the most out of it, play OG 7 first and then play 7 Remake.
See, I disagree.
I know we've had that conversation.
They're standalone stories, in my opinion. Like, they're very different takes.
They are, but one.
I see. Without the ending is where it gets tricky, especially if you already obviously know the full story. But it's also like, how do you go into a blank? But my Amy's oldest son played through 7 Remake in its entirety. Knows nothing of 7. He just really liked Sephiroth and Smash and wanted to try out 7 Remake and loved it. So
yeah, see, and that's what I think. I think we kind of have blinders on because of the way we experienced the series growing up, right? Like, who says you can't, right? And then for those people, they might play 7 OG after Remake and be like, wait, why is this the same thing we did, just in reverse, right? Why is this different? Why am I just leaving and there's not a gigantic fight?
So the reason I feel the way I do is I can't get into it, unfortunately, because it would be a spoiler for the ending of Remake. Yeah. So I can't really talk about why I feel that way about the relationship between the two without spoiling anything. I don't want to do that here. So be that as it may, I do think that you'll get more out of it if you play OG 7 first. But as Steve said, I also agree, in no way do you have to. I think it's probably better, but you'll still have a great time with 7 Remake, even if you haven't played 7. So, yeah. And then finally, our actual last super chat of the day, $2 more from Disney Duncan. Thank you very much. But Ash, Ultimate MVC3 has Amaterasu. And yes, it does, and she's awesome. But Okami's, I love. It's my second favorite game of all time. But Mega Man is still Mega Man, and I'm sorry, Mega Man. Can't deny Mega Man. So, well, that is it. We have reached the end of episode 49 of the GVGcast. Thank you all so much for being here with us every week. We love doing this show with you, as always. As always, we have to give a special thank you to all of our patrons at the producer tier and above for helping to make everything we do here happen. Thank you all so much. We are so honored and blessed to have you supporting us every month. And of course, also as always, we have to give a extra special thank you to all of our patrons at the executive producer tier and above. And those fine, incredible, amazing folks include Brandon Bovia, Cutie Caitlin, Fangs, Z Patty, Just Brian, Sky Blue Flames, Eastman 23, Adam O'Sullivan, Richard Herrera, Logan Daniel, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Critter XD, Joy Content, Angel Martinez, Vedron, Joshua Hunter, Benny Yao, Blindman, Azran127, Black King, Pagrema, Geller, Joseph Rutkin, Titus Malvolio, Geeky Griffin, Lucky Wonderfish, Kyle, Wataniac, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Doug Shomix, Andrew Medeiros, Brady Power, Darchi, Becca, Rocks the Cat, Killamox, Sean Davis, Michael McCaw, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber, CPHT, Too Much Spaghetti, Bane 400, Ascaron 809, Ryaner, Nathan Steele, Spicy Atanda, Rain and Clouds, The Game Orb, Super Gamer Dude 101, Grantles, Ravelox, Rosa Pardo Bowling.
Hi, Mom.
Mega Amster, Dark Steel 01, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Cystic Warrior 29, DJ Jurassic, Super Dank Awesome Unicorn Guy, Derek, Colin, Blaze-Star 25, Mumbling Yeti, Cameron Sharp, Keel, Moon Knight, Brendan Hesse, Hustlebun, Noah Fitterer, Calvin Atkinson, Brainchild, the entire state of Wisconsin, Jim Wakeland, Longboy Shiggy, Aramis Baramis, Kyle the Monarch, Dad Alpha Lion, Lord Metarex, Kyle Gamer, and Barry Rookie, Blaze Collard, Eric, Cat Evie Person 5, Lady Maxillary, Peyton Thiel, Mega Beatman True Blue Reviews, and last but certainly not least, Jung Ant. Wow, thank you all so much. As a reminder, I will see you all at PAX East next week. For those of you who will be there, can't wait to meet you all. It's going to be a blast. Also, as a reminder, we have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/officialgvg, where Daniel and Brandon do Good Vibes Arcade 2 or more times a week now. They're doing all sorts of fun stuff like Zelda randomizers, Mario Party, Fortune Street, all sorts of good stuff. So definitely go check out our Twitch channel, see all the cool stuff they're doing over there. But if you can't do that, we also have a VODs channel, Good VODs Gaming, right here on YouTube. And you can check some of the VODs from our Twitch channel that they are constantly uploading. So definitely go check them out. That is it for us today. We're off to our patron exclusive post show. Thank you all so much and have a great weekend. Good night and good vibes. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.